Imagine you look up at the night sky and instead of the familiar glowing white moon, you see a giant buzzing ball of pure electricity, not made of rock, not dust, just electrons, billions and trillions and quadrillions of them. Yeah, that sounds like a bad idea already. So, what would actually happen if the moon were made entirely of electrons?
First, quick refresher. Electrons are the tiny negatively charged particles that orbit around atoms. They're the reason electricity works, why your phone charges, and why you can zap yourself with static shocks in the winter. Now picture the moon, not as a calm, quiet ball of rock, but as a sphere of nothing but those particles. A moon-sized ball of negative charge. Here's the first problem. Electrons hate each other. Like they really hate each other. Two electrons repel harder than kids avoiding vegetables. So if you try to squish a moon's worth of electrons together, they'd immediately blast apart. The whole thing would explode instantly, faster than anything you've ever seen. How fast? Well, the moon's gravity tries to hold it together. But compared to the insane electric repulsion, gravity is a weakling. The moment you replace lunar rock with electrons, the electron moon would rip itself into a giant cosmic firework, spraying electrons across space.
Okay, so the moon explodes. Big deal. What happens to Earth? This is where it gets messy. A moon made of electrons would have a charge so huge it makes your hair stand on end just thinking about it. In fact, Earth would immediately feel that repulsion. Instead of orbiting peacefully, the Earth and Moon would push away from each other like magnets with the wrong ends facing.
And remember, the Moon helps keep Earth stable. Without it, our tides, our day length, even the tilt of our planet would eventually wobble all over the place. But here, we wouldn't even have time to worry about wobbles. Because when the electron moon explodes, all those electrons don't just vanish, they head our way.
Imagine trillions upon trillions of electrons slamming into Earth's atmosphere. It would be like a non-stop lightning storm turned up to 11. The sky would glow, electronics would fry, and satellites would go down instantly. Basically, Earth would become the worst place to charge your phone.
Now, here's the wild part. If the electrons spread out far enough, they'd attract the protons inside atoms all around them. That means random hydrogen in space could get ripped apart. Atoms could be pulled weirdly, and in some chaotic way, new matter might form. It would basically be like rewriting the chemistry of the solar system on the fly. Could we end up with new stars? Maybe. Could it just dissolve into a gigantic, chaotic plasma cloud? Almost definitely. Either way, it wouldn't be a calm night sky anymore. The space near Earth would turn into a glowing, deadly mess of electric storms.
But let's dial it back for a second. Suppose somehow the electrons did stay together in a moon-sized ball without exploding. What would that look like? Well, for one, the moon wouldn't reflect sunlight like rock does. It would probably look like a glowing, shifting orb, because electrons in motion release light. So every night, we'd have our own private lightning lamp hanging in the sky. Beautiful, but also terrifying. And good luck sleeping when the air around you is constantly crackling with static. So, what's the big takeaway here? If the moon were made entirely of electrons, it would never actually be a moon. Physics just doesn't allow it. The forces pushing it apart are way stronger than the forces holding it together. Best case, you get the biggest, brightest, scariest explosion the solar system has ever seen. Worst case, Earth gets roasted in an unstoppable storm of electricity. Either way, you're not going out to look at the electron moon. You're hiding in a basement, wondering why your Wi-Fi died 5 minutes ago. So maybe we should stick with the boring old rock moon. Craters and all. What do you think? If you could swap the moon for anything else, what would you pick? Tell me in the comments. And hey, if you liked this dive into cosmic what-ifs, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next big brain breaker. Because, trust me, you don't want to miss what happens when we ask, what if the Earth stopped spinning for just 1 second?